Hey, Stratwrassler here, back again. Took a little break from making videos. I was going to do a video about the amazing... Oh, how do you like my sunglasses here? Pretty cool, huh? Well, like ZZ Top says, go get yourself some cheap sunglasses. Although these aren't really cheap. They're my first prescription sunglasses. Somebody said they look like Blues Brothers sunglasses. I'll go with that. I'll keep that. And it's a little bright right now because it's morning and the sun's out. And yeah, I'm up and about and talking when it's not nighttime. So need the sunglasses. Amazing A chord, huh? There's been some debate on the Facebook groups about learning to play guitar as to how to finger the chord. Now the A chord being the A from the C-A-G-E-D cage system, the open A chord shape. I've only used it two different ways, and I only use it one way pretty much now. First way I fingered it was you play your open A string, your fifth string, but then your first finger on the second fret of your D string, the fourth string, your second finger on the second fret of the G string. See that? And then your third finger on the second fret of your B string, and let the high E string, your first string, ring open. That high E note. And then somebody has suggested that you should actually finger it like this. You should take your second finger on the second fret of your D string, and then put your first finger on the second fret of the G string, and your third finger on the second fret of your B string. And it creates this little triangle shape. I don't know if you can see that. Instead of a straight line, like these fingers, well, not really straight, they're kind of at an angle, but they're all in the same fret, as opposed to this. And their reason for this is they say it makes it easier to switch to the open E chord. From here to here. Because you're only moving two fingers instead of three. Well, you're still moving three, but you're sliding your first finger down here and then putting these fingers here. And some beginning guitar players apparently find this easier. I don't recommend playing it either way. And that second way is only easier, or mostly only easier, when switching to that open E chord. It's not easier to switch to a D from there. Well, maybe it is a little bit. I mean, switching to a D like this, or switching to a D like this. Okay, it's a little easier. Why don't you leave a comment? Which do you find easier between those two? I don't use either of them. I have learned to bar these three strings, and you have to do it at kind of a strange angle. Not ankle, angle. I'm barring across those three, avoiding touching my high E string. And I can do it with that finger, I can do it with that finger, and I can do it with that finger. How did I learn to do that? I don't know. I just discovered one day that I was doing that because I was learning to play licks and riffs while fingering the chord. Common bluesy rock stuff like... And it's a little harder to do that if you're tying up three fingers to finger the A chord. And plus, when you're doing those riffs, you don't need the whole chord. You don't need to play the whole... You don't need the whole chord. You're just concentrating on these low parts. It frees up my other fingers to play these other parts, or to do this like kind of high sounding A5 chord. That's just an example of stuff that I like to play off of that chord. And of course, if you're moving that A chord shape up to make it a D, if you tying up these 3 fingers, and it's hard to do that anyway for me. I'm used to doing it this way, where I bar across everything from the A string up to the high E string with my first finger, and then I bar those 3 strings here with my 3rd finger. I understand these are physically difficult fingerings to learn and apply, but I hope you can see that in the long run it's advantageous to do that so that you can play these other riffs and ideas around those chords. So there you are, the amazing A chord. And as a bonus, I want to talk a little bit about equipment and tone and amps. I've been kind of a tube amp snob, and for a long time I thought my dream rig would just be a cranked stack run through a rock concert PA where I just had everything cranked up and I would just ride the volume to get different sounds. Everything from a nice mellow clean sound, something like this, or maybe even just pick lighter, make it clean. And then strum harder to get a harder sound. As opposed to. I'm just changing the way that I tag it with my fingers. You can get a lot of dynamics and range out of that. And then I discovered a lot of my guitar heroes that I thought that's how they played actually ran some kind of pedal or preamp or something between their guitar and the amp to get that extra little sweetness and power and cut through the mix in their tone. But I read an article about that recently, and I discovered that they did what I like to do, especially with a small amp, especially when you're playing at a relatively low volume, like in a club with a trio, someplace where they want the waitresses to be able to hear your order over however loud the band is, which I think is just wrong, but hey, it's their business, you know. And everybody likes a little reverb too, right? Of course, if you're on a big rock star stage with a rock star PA, they just put all the reverb and everything through the PA and run it back through your monitors and out the big mains. But I don't have roadies or rock concert PAs to work with, so I like to add a little reverb in front. That might be a bit much. I'm going to turn it down just a hair on the reverb. But that sound there, it sounds pretty nice, but when you record with it or you're playing live, it's not going to cut through all that great. And it's not going to quite hit that sweet spot in the tone. So you put a little overdrive and a little boost in front of it to drive the front end of your amp a little bit. And I'm going to turn that on. That's what it sounds like without it. This is what it sounds like with it. And if you back off your volume, you can get back into some of that clean tone. Bad notes. But here's the difference, especially when you're wanting those hard rock and crunchy tones. This is without that. I'll switch to the lead bridge pickup. Add a little overdrive and boost. Big difference. And I like that. It can always be deceiving what it sounds like in your practice room or by yourself compared to what it sounds like on the stage or in a recording in the studio. So there you go, the amazing A chord and a few ideas about getting tones and sounds out of your pedals and amps. So until next time, get your guitar, go play some music, and maybe get yourself some cheap sunglasses. Bye.